Hello everyone, I'm Khalid from Captain MBA. In this video, I'm going to talk about MBA Application CV, why it is so important, and how you can make a good one. In the end, I'll also share a few examples of work experience bullet points that you may find helpful. So let's get started. Creating a polished resume for an MBA application can seem like a daunting task for many, but the time and energy you spend in making a well-articulated CV with the impact bullet points can ultimately pay off, because CV is the single most important document in the application package that can significantly increase your chances of getting an interview invite. Refining a resume requires thinking deeply about your experiences, the problems you solved, the impact you made, and most importantly, the results you have achieved. It should be structured and phrased in a way that gives a clear picture of your accomplishments and skill sets to the reader, who would hardly spend less than 20 seconds evaluating one MBA CV. Needless to say, the CV design should be in a way that saves time for the reader while highlighting key points about your experience. CV is a document that should reflect who you are, what you have done, and why you are fit for an MBA program, or in general, why you are fit for the job you want to apply. Before you get started working on your MBA application CV, think from the evaluator's point of view. So the business school admission committee, what do they look in an MBA application CV? So how do they evaluate candidates' resume? The AdCom team is interested in looking at your career progression. So whether you have the gradual increase in responsibilities and scope of work, the complexity of tasks that you have handled, the problems you have solved, teamwork skills that you have displayed, and your quantifiable accomplishments. The business school AdCom team is looking for someone who has good career progression, who has leadership potential to grow, and who is driven by impact. The most commonly used MBA application CV template is of one page, consisting of sections starting with education, so covering your acads, right? And then work experience section, so starting with the most recent of the current job and then going backwards, and then followed by the accomplishments or awards or accomplishments that you have, and then at the bottom, volunteer experiences or community surveys or social impact that you have. These are the essential sections of an MBA application CV, most commonly used across many business schools. Now, I want to share with you 6 core components of an MBA application CV that make it a really strong and perfect one. First one is impact at work. So this covers your achievements at work in bullet points, following a CAR model. So CAR is basically a structure of writing a bullet point. So C stands for challenge, A for action, and R for result or outcome. So you can interchange the sequencing of it, but each bullet point should have at least 2 of these components. So you should have the challenge or the problem you're trying to solve, and the actions you have taken, and the outcome that is quantified, right? So if you are saying that you have led a digital transformation program working with 5 different teams, in the end saving X amount of dollars for the company. So it should have all these 3 components. A bullet point should have all these 3 components. Impact at work also includes your career trend line, that is the pace of your career progression. The second component of an MBA application CV is team player. So this is usually assessed to find whether you can comfortably work in complex, diverse cross-functional teams, handling complexity and managing interpersonal relationships. The third component is initiative taking. Are you an action-oriented person? Do you take action or wait for someone else to solve a problem? How entrepreneurial are you? The fourth component of an MBA application CV that AdCom team really looks for is leadership potential, and this is an important one. Do you have what it takes to be a future leader? Have you exhibited any of the core leadership attributes in your experience? The fifth component is quantifiable achievements. How do you measure the outcome of your achievements? How do you quantify the impact you have made? Sixth and last component that you should have in your MBA CV is social impact. Do you have the betterment of society at heart? Do you have any experience of working with social organization in volunteer capacity? Did you launch any small or big social initiative at work or outside the work? And what was the impact? Increasingly, many business schools are looking for social impact or some kind of volunteer or community service experience, so that it really shows that you are someone who is driven to make an impact at society at large, right? Who is driven to solve real world problems and issues and not just limited to your work. In general, for being a successful MBA applicant, you really need to showcase, not just in your CV, but also in your essays, you really need to showcase what you have done outside your work. What you have done outside your work is as important as what you are currently doing in your work. So these are the 6 components that you should have in your MBA application CV. Number 1, impact at work. Second, team player. Third, initiative taking. Fourth, leadership potential. Fifth, quantifiable achievements. And the last and final one, social impact. Now let's look at some of the examples of work experience bullet points, and you would notice some of the common mistakes that many candidates make. when they write about their work experience. Here is an example of how not to write your work experience bullet point. If the bullet point is something like responsible for managing database, writing SQL scripts, and handling database queries, this doesn't have any of the component of CAR, the challenge, action, and result. And where is the impact in this, right? So that is a strict no. Like it's not how you write the bullet point, the impact bullet point. A second example of how not to write work experience bullet point: delivered cost optimization solution to the client. Well, it is good. You have delivered cost optimization solution to the client. That is understood. But what's the outcome of it? Yeah. So is it just delivering the solution without measuring the outcome? Is that how you operate? But that's definitely doesn't show any good. It doesn't add any value to the CV. Now, third example of how not to write work experience bullet point: led a digital transformation team for tender processing division. Yeah. So again, I mean, it's great you are showing that you are leading a digital transformation at your company for a certain division, but that's it. That's exactly what you're saying. Nothing more than that, right? It doesn't have any challenge. It doesn't show how complex it was. It doesn't show the scope of work, the number of teams you have worked with or coordinated with, the seniority of stakeholders you have managed, and the resulting outcome of it. Now, here is an example of how a good work experience impact bullet point look like. Delivered inventory management solution for a major retail client, working with 6 cross-functional teams, managing a team of 10, managing senior stakeholders, thereby saving $10,000 per annum. Now, another good example of a work experience bullet point is led digital transformation of a processing division, cutting down bottleneck cycle time by 40% and gaining resource efficiency by 20%. If you think these videos are helpful to you, please support us by liking this video, hitting the subscribe button, and sharing your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you. All the best.